Hey everyone, PA Pipe Smoker here. Little update, I haven't made a video in a while. A personal issue, my mother is deathly ill. She's had breast cancer now for almost 2 years, a year and a half. I think she's been diagnosed, about a year and a half maybe. With this whole virus thing going around, I'm unfortunately unable to visit her. I haven't physically seen her in about 3 weeks, and if you guys know me, my mother's been living with me for the past 5 years since my father passed away. Yes, I'm growing a little beard too, and I'll explain the wall in a second too, guys. Just hang on. So, in all seriousness though, she's been living with me for the past 5 years. We kind of split the bills, if you will. It's kind of a roommate lifestyle. Mothers are always like, hey, hold back, Mom, but I really want you here a little bit, but just hang back. It's kind of a mother and adult son relationship, I think. Mother will always treat you like you're 10. Now, with that being said, so let's back up a little bit. About 3 weeks ago, my mother was hallucinating in her bedroom, and you kind of make a judgment call. Should you call the ambulance? Should you not? Is it bad? Is it just an episode? What is this? So, first night it wasn't so bad. Second night, oof. Yeah, it's now we know we have to call the ambulance, okay? And guys, don't judge on you should have called right away. I'm sure I'll get some guys that say that you should have called right away. Possibly, yeah. But here's the thing. If you call, what are you going to do? Call if you cut your finger? No, you're going to call when it gets infected, okay? Or you'll go when it gets infected. There's a level of, how bad is it? There's a term for it. I don't know what it is. But, so don't judge. Anyway, she went to the hospital. She was hallucinating. She had breast cancer. It spread throughout her body. She's in stage 4 at this time. Went into her top of her brain. That's what made her hallucinate. It's kind of like an acid trip without taking the acid, or like something like that. Hallucinogens, which is, I don't know if that's acid or not. I have no idea. I wish I did that stuff. I was jealous of those kids in school who did it, and I didn't even know where to get it. Yeah, I'm that guy, but not anymore. Anyway, I will get to the story. Trust me. We will finish the story today. Promise. So goes to the hospital. I'm able to visit. Everything's great. I go there every day after work. Yeah, we know about coronavirus and all that, but it's not a huge issue yet, kind of, sort of. Now, all of a sudden, they're telling me, I can no longer visit. That's it. No more visiting. Which I said, okay, well, maybe about a week, we'll come back. And this was in the early stages of, early March, mid-March. Now we're in, April 5th? Something like that. April, I don't know what we're in. April something. I have no idea. I'm probably wrong with the date. Beginning of April, 2nd or 3rd. April 2nd? Whatever. Something like that. So, she gets shipped to a nursing home, a rehab center. She's in the rehab center for about a week and a half, 2 weeks-ish. 2 weeks, I'd say she's in the rehab center. 2 days ago, it was April 1st. That morning, they call me up and they say, oh yeah, so today's April 2nd. They call me up and they say, yesterday morning, they said, your mother is unresponsive and she is being rushed to the ER via an ambulance. Okay? And, my reaction to that was, okay. I lost my father 5 years ago. We're doing these hospital trips again with Mom now, and you kind of get used to the hospital, and it's kind of, when you're dealing with the elderly, it's kind of, sadly, a sick way, it's a second home. Okay, we're going to the hospital again. you always get that pit feeling. It's like, this is it, this is it, this is it. But over time, you kind of grow to realize it's probably not it. But you always, you don't know. I think that's always going to be in the back of somebody's mind. So what happened was, I get to the hospital, and I obviously can't see her because of the virus, and I'm sitting in the waiting room at this point. I don't know at what point I realized it was bad. I don't know if it was talking to the receptionist. I don't remember, but something told me this is terrible. And she's not going to recover. And the one receptionist obviously saw, was very upset, and she came over and talked to me, which made me more upset because now I'm talking about it out loud. And then I asked to speak to the pastor. Long story short, you know, that was very nice. They're very, very nice people at St. Luke's. So now we're moving on to day 2. I'm not pulling the plug. They wanted me to pull the plug, if you will, and that's not happening yet. Trust me, that's another video, another conversation. They were very quick about it, though. Pull the plug, pull the plug. We want you to, why don't you just feel it? No, stop. Guys, anyone ever asked you that moment in time? We feel, well, they'll tell you like this, we feel it's best for her if you, listen, trust me, push the pause button. You don't have to make a decision right then and there. Push the pause button and say, I'm sorry, right now I'm not going to make a decision, but right now I need you to keep her alive. Him or her, whatever. Okay? That's what you do. Doesn't matter what they say. Doesn't matter how much pain she's in. She feels that tube down her throat. That tube's keeping her alive right now. And, you know, again, depending on your loved one's situation, my mother wants to stay alive. She wants to stay alive. We've had brief, probably silly conversations in the car. Hey, what happens if you're ever on a life machine? What do you want me to do? You want me to pull the plug? And she said, absolutely not. I wouldn't pull the plug for you. Don't you pull the plug for me. All right. So even though it was kind of a goofy, fun-filled conversation, that's a serious conversation, if you will. So those are her wishes, right? Now, right now, this sucks because I can't physically be there. And what really is heart-wrenching, I haven't seen her in 3 weeks, like physically. I've talked to her, and I actually talked to her the day before they called me. And she sounded a little raspy, but, I mean, she's 75 and has stage 4 cancer. I don't expect too much. But she was very cognitive. She understood what was going on. So what sucks, what really sucks, is that neither one of us knew this was going to happen. And I think that's somewhat kind of normal. But now, when my father passed, we knew. Because he was at home. You could see the decline. With her, it kind of was at this level of here, and then all of a sudden, it just dropped. That's scary. And that's a lesson for everybody who, you know, we always hear about, do what you gotta do now, because you never know. Trust me, you don't know. You absolutely do not know. So right now, what they're gonna do is, I'm actually waiting on a call. They are going to reach out to me, and they're going to put me through to her. Can she hear? She is in They didn't say it was a coma, they didn't say anything, but they said they basically knocked her out with drugs so she's more comfortable with the tube in her chest. So with that, I could Skype, I could FaceTime, I could all that. They could put a big computer screen in front of her. Here's the deal. I don't want to see my mother in that condition in a video, okay? I could deal with it more in person. I choose not to do the video. I just choose to do it that way. I choose to, because she's not gonna respond to what I say. She's literally she's sleeping with a tube down her throat. Can she hear me? This is the big question. They could hear, your ears work, they could hear. Can they understand what you're saying? The docs, they don't know, but they believe that you can. Most people believe that you can, and I believe she has enough brain function that she will be able to hear me. And of course, it might be my own selfish way of saying, this is what I'm going to say to you. Mom, this is what I'm going to say. I want you to hear what I have to say. And this is my, I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. I can handle it by myself. So, I need to say that. Because what really sucks, is that she probably doesn't realize why I'm not there. She probably doesn't understand why she's in that condition. When we just spoke the other night, excuse me, we both thought she would come back home. She wanted to come home. That was her goal. That's why she was in the rehab center. They don't know if she got the virus in the rehab center. They don't know if it was pneumonia that got in her chest that made her oxygen level drop, which made her unresponsive in the rehabilitation center. They don't know. They tested it. But there's so many people getting tested that who knows when it's gonna, who knows when they're gonna get that result back. But since they know it's a respiratory issue and they're not taking any chances, and since the virus got into the nursing homes and into the rehab centers, they're quarantining any type of risk. So here's the problem. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? Here's the problem. They have the people who are possibly have something. They have them in there with the absolute they have something. Come on. You're bound to get it at that point. So I talked to the palliative care physician. If you don't know what palliative care physician is, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but they basically take care of you in your last stages of life. I'm sure they do a bunch of other great things, but from what I understand, the palliative care physicians that I've been dealing with, they will only take care of you in your last stages of life. They will, one wants to shut the machine off. Ultimately, I have that say. It's only been 2 days, and I wonder what happens after 2 weeks. I really don't know what happens after 2 weeks. Will she live 2 weeks? Is there enough brain function to keep the body going, but not the mind, and not the speech, and not all that? Who knows? In 2 days, she hasn't really improved this, and this, and this. With that being said, though, what are you going to do? Now, what I'm personally waiting for, me personally, if her heart were to stop, I and the physicians know we're not going to do chest compressions. We're not going to use the paddles. We're not pumping this and pumping that. That's it. We're done at that point. There's really not much to do. Now, what's really heart-wrenching is the doctor told me today, very, very nice guy, told me today, she is fighting. Like, her body is fighting to get better. But by all this fighting to get better, it's putting a toll, and it's very stressful on her body. And I really hope, and she's a fighter. God, she's a fighter. And I really hope she's not doing it for me. I really hope, she's doing it for herself. Herself would probably be for me, because what are you going to do, She wants to come home. That's what she wants to do. You never know when that ambulance shows up, if that last trip out of the house is going to be your last ever. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, guys. Nobody knows. You put the keys in the car for the last time sometimes. Okay? Sometimes. The last time you ever put those keys in the ignition, someone else takes them out. When you're friends, when you're a child, and you go ride your bikes around the streets with your friends, who knew that was going to be the last time you guys ever hung out? Think about that. Think about how your childhood friends, you said bye, buddy. You never knew that was the last. Nobody even died. You just somehow grew apart. Adult friends, somehow we find these ways, and they're there, we don't talk, and then we just, sometimes that's the last time you're going to see them, because you've gone on to different walks of life. Same thing with life and death. It's where we are. It's how it works. And when it happens to you, you understand it better. You get a little bit of understanding of life and how shitty it is. And, that is what it's part of. It's the stupid things like, there's my mom's food. What are we going to do with it? And here is the doctor's calling, so I will talk to you guys soon.